Hello. I hope I am live. You know what? I'm gonna lower the sound even more. Okay. I'm just making sure on my little tablet. I pull up my stream manager. And we should be good to go. Okay. This is the second stream in which I will have had the Ethernet cord. I really hope I can test this time how much lag there still is. From what I can tell, there's still maybe like a 5-minute lag at least, but that's way better than 30 minutes, so I'm not going to complain. Yeah. Been definitely a slow day for me. I was less productive than usual, which is saying a lot because I'm not very productive at all as a human being. Oh, I have not seen that before. Oh, that's the mini game. The rhythm mini game that I do not like. Hi, Asta. Herta really is kind of tiny. Asta's taller than her. They're both wearing heels, so I'll negate that. But without the hat, Herta would definitely be a little bit shorter than Asta. Just gonna make my way back to Simulate Universe. I have some rewards in Golden Gears that I wanna just cross off the list. Oop. Oh, wait a second. I thought I got all the readables. Oh, this is from Polka. Today marks our reunion. The philistron recycling theory, the biowave prospecting method, and the synthesis technology for Graysill Gold. These academic achievements seem unrelated, but they have brought Boden, Lambda, and me together in the Energy Research Lab. After so many years, we are now doing research under the same roof once again, and Lambda seems very happy. Regarding our membership in the Genius Society, truth be told, the three of us haven't attached too much significance to it. From my student days, it was clear to me that genius was merely a broad term for exceptional brilliance. Different geniuses excel in various fields. The feats achieved by the geniuses Harold Punch, Neil Eman, and someone named Polka Kakamond are beyond my wildest dreams. However, they can never replicate what I have done, either. However, I can't care less about the other members of the Genius Society, as they are too far away from us. The dynamics among us three classmates concern me more at present. Okay, who is this? Klein. I gifted Lambda a set of exoskeleton. Unknown to her, I discreetly implanted a 98% pure Graysill gold pellet in the structure of its ring finger, cleverly disguising it as a ring. No, this is my secret, not meant for sharing, and if she discovers it later, I'll simply attribute it to a coincidence while crafting the exoskeleton. During our polar exhibition yesterday, Lambda finally successfully located the underground energy source she had long pursued using biowaves. This discovery could power all the cities on planet Ohiote for half a century. Her elation was palpable. She even kicked off her shoes. Then Boden told me they divorced again. This is their fourth remarriage and divorce. I was unsure how to react. Coincidentally, a butterfly fluttered in the wilderness, lingering before my eyes for quite a while. I don't know why, but that butterfly resembles me in some inexplicable manner. It was the first time I realized such creatures existed in the polar regions of the planet Ohayati. No, something is definitely off. If she hadn't gone there, Bowden would have been there. If she hadn't gone there, Bowden would have been there. And it would have been him who got it killed in the explosion. But instead I sent him to the hospital. Furthermore, why did blank and all the blank were closed and she happened to blank? Is this mere coincidence? Or perhaps... I found the camera Lambda had hidden in Bowden's lab. God knows why she would need the surveillance, but that's not important. The surveillance record shows that the gray seal gold I had discreetly placed in the Philogistton observation deck didn't work as I had planned. In other words, Bowden wasn't wounded because of my plan, but the Philogistton leakage aligned perfectly with my expectations. This can't be mere coincidence. Someone else has been moving my plan forward. So Klein... So Klein wanted to hurt them. Or kill them. Lambda smashed that exoskeleton along with the gray seal gold pellet. Technically, an ordinary hammer wouldn't have reacted with the gray seal gold. But the incident in the central control room couldn't be mere coincidence. Who gave Lambda that special hammer, and why would she smash the exoskeleton at that precise moment? It simply doesn't make sense. Polka Kakamond is still alive? I thought that genius had passed away. This discovery has given me some insights. Ooh. Polka Calcomon, the woman you are. I have no idea what Klein was trying to do with her colleagues, Bowden and Lambda. Really rough for them to have such a awful classmate, colleague, friend trying to kill them. We met Polka in a previous Simulated Universe story installment, and I believe her plan is to kill off as many Genius Society members as possible I think her general philosophy is that a Genius Society member will always strive to go beyond the limits of what humanity can do, and to kind of prevent like the inevitable like I feel like it's tied to a lot about what we know about it's tied to a lot of like I feel like other side quests, specifically the one that is about, oh god, I'm forgetting his name right now. I could probably pull up the readable about him somewhere here. If I remember where it is. But there is a Genius Society member who created the mass planetary weapon for the IPC, where we had that huge story quest in Penacony about. That was amazing. I absolutely loved that one. And it covered about... Well, that one was more of an emotional side quest. But basically, it's people like him in the Genius Society who are like pushing things forward, making discoveries. And with that comes like the danger of coming up, I guess, too close to like the knowledge event horizon, I guess, where then the whole world could be wiped out just because of one person in the Genius Society. So Polka kind of is eliminating as many Genius Society members as possible to kind of close I guess to stop that from happening is what I'm trying to say, even though I know that that is kind of an inevitability. Like, this is a similar task to, I guess, like, trying to catch water from, like, a flowing pot. It's just never really going to happen. You can try and stop it, but it's not going to happen. Anyway, considering what we know about Herta, I'm sure we are going to hear more about Polka later in the story. Yeah, that's the one we just got. At some point, maybe I should just do some reactions to other people's playthroughs of previous quests. Or I should just create an entirely new account and play from the beginning. Because I think that would be actually really fun. Although I know that I will be tempted to pull on a secondary account as well, and that may end up in me spending double the amount of money that I will usually spend on this game. So it's probably not a good idea. And Haley, welcome. Let me know about how the lag seems to be. I'm gonna try and be responsive because I've set up the Ethernet cord for this stream. So hopefully the lag is down to maybe 5 minutes or so. Not really sure about that. Thank you, Haley. I think you're saying you're down for me creating an entirely new account. And I'm down too. I just think it would be dangerous for me. I'm still trying to find where, God, there's some readables I still need to collect. Like, you do not get an achievement for collecting all the readables, but I just like to do it. Trying to see if there is any, I guess, like, I could make it a challenge about if I make a secondary account, I cannot pull for a limited 5-star. I'm just gonna have to deal with the 4 stars they give you. That might be a good challenge. Yeah, that's Polka's portrait. I'm trying to see. So we don't have Klein. I completely forgot who Klein is. I've heard about Lambda and Bowden. They've been mentioned in the simulated universe. Okay. Wow, the lag is down so much. God, the powers of technology, man. It's kind of crazy. Lag is down to like maybe 2 minutes. That's like beyond all hope for me, honestly. I still need to remember to look at my secondary screen once in a while. Okay. So basically, Simulated Universe is like a... What would this be called in like a different game? I guess this would be like a battle mode. And there's several different variations, as you can see. I've already completed all of Unknowable Domain for the most part. Like, I haven't got all the scepters, but basically I'm just playing to get as many of these as possible, the rewards. I've already harvested this thing for all the jades it can give me. Oop. And I have already harvested this for all the jades it could give me too, to be honest. No, don't tell me. Okay. It's gonna keep bothering me It keeps having that red mark. Okay. It's a little over a minute. Wow, we do stay winning, Haley. Look at us. Okay. So I already have harvested this thing for all the jades it can give me. But now it's just the challenges, which will be fun. That, and I kind of still want to keep procrastinating on doing more of the story, even though I know now I'm playing with fire here because there are limited time rewards that I could be missing out on if I don't complete the story fast enough. So maybe I'll just go for one run of Golden Gears just to give myself a little bit of that dopamine from completing a task. Okay, Abundance Path. So this is basically you get a bunch of buffs when your healer will heal you. So let me see here. What team do I want to play? Let me see. Actually, I do kind of want to play my Clara, even though I don't have her fully upgraded yet, but we're just gonna deal with it, you know? Most of the time I'll be putting this on autoplay anyway. Even though it'll probably also bother me that the autoplay won't use ultimates as I want them to. Yes, you're so true. Fire is a fine thing. I love to gamble. That's why I'm playing a gacha game. Oh, erudition. No. Yeah, I should probably use Argenti. He would work better with the buffs. Okay. Erudition usually goes for AoE attacks. So that should work. I'll ban Preservation and Remembrance because Preservation relies on shielding, which my healer cannot do. And Remembrance relies upon freezing enemies. Okay. And honestly, I don't want to think about dice right now, so I'll just use the Trotter dice. Okay. I always like to go for whatever will give me a curio, even though I think this cheat attempt... Actually, you know what? Maybe getting one cheat attempt is more important. No. I like to... No. No, actually, yeah, I'm gonna play it simple today. I'll get a cheat attempt. This team is pretty strong on its own, so it doesn't need too many buffs in order to survive, as long as I don't... Well, I'm gonna try and get as much buffs as I can, of course. It's not fun if you don't push it. Okay. Now, I was watching The Substance last night, and Haley, you know that, of course. But I'm trying to, well, I guess this is me trying out, talking about something else while I'm also playing this game. I'm gonna see how well I juggle those two things in my mind. But The Substance, the more I'm thinking about it, I finished the movie, and I was like, okay. Objectively, I think I love. Objectively, I think I should love the film because it hits a lot of my weak points, hits a lot of the points I like to think about, and I think are really interesting to talk about in a visual format. Maybe it's simply because I'm not sick of seeing like themes about aging and the beauty industry. I think if I lived in LA, like this movie would grate on me a lot more than it does right now.
A day of peaceful repose.
I'm sorry. Okay. If I lived in LA, yeah, substance talk. Let's talk about the substance. No, but if I lived in LA, I bet I actually would maybe hate the film because it's really, really annoying. It's really, really annoying when it comes to like stereotypes of the industry. And I don't know, maybe I would find some sort of like schadenfreude joy, I guess, in seeing those stereotypes. But I also feel like they would be so boring to me because I imagine there are so many like mini projects in LA that are basically about the exact same thing the substance is talking about. Before the substance came out, especially after the substance came out, like this kind of topic is not exactly something that's new. Okay. I'm starting to see now that if I want to talk about this, I'm gonna like talk about it in brief bursts and then like go quiet again as I have to think about what I'm doing. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I guess I'll do this. I guess I'll do it. Oh, I just realized I didn't even hit this thing. Like actually don't know what the name in game is, but this gives you your technique points, which are down there in the bottom right of the screen. And I try to take advantage of it whenever I can, but I forget to do so. Oh, okay, where was I? Yes, the substance. But yeah, it's nothing new. But like I'm a sucker for anything stylistic, and while it didn't really catch me at the very beginning of the film, as the film goes on, especially when you get to Sue's point of view, like suddenly it just like clicks into place why the film is like is so reliant on its like sound design and ultra close-ups, like not just for the gross out factor, but yeah, like Sue's like a brand new person, so everything she's experiencing is so is like it's like extra lush in a sense. I probably should not have picked that curio. There were better ones to pick. But yeah, I usually love stylistic movies. And I'm not gonna say like I didn't. Every time I click to copy it, they always copy over the one domain I didn't want them to copy over. Okay, yeah, I usually love stylistic choices. Even choices that I feel are a little bit clumsy or abrupt for in film. Because I want to see people do things with the medium. Like if you're going to make a film, then yeah, why not just do ultra close-ups and super gross sound design? Like I'm up for it even though it's not something I'm familiar with.
Care to test your skills?
But the way it was filmed also made me feel like the director is a huge Tumblrina, in a sense that like every shot they put together is meant to go into a Tumblr gift set compilation. Like everything is supposed to have this huge impact for the audience, and I don't know. It's not. It doesn't work like that. I read a Letterboxd review afterwards about how the movie makes a mistake of thinking that of trying to make everything impactful, and in that case then that makes everything drown. It was just like it makes all of the scenes drown each other out and how impactful they're all trying to be, when a more maybe experienced filmmaker would have the patience and the restraint to have scenes that build up to bigger moments. And I don't know, I would in this film's defense, I do think they have those moments. I do think that the movie does build up to some of its more important moments really well. But especially in the beginning when they're just getting the ball rolling on the story, and for certain parts of Elizabeth's point of view, I think they drop the ball a little bit. And like to me, it's more of like it's like a self-anxious kind of creative choice to like, okay, like I need to make this scene impactful and exciting and interesting. And I'm actually not so sure how well that works for Elizabeth's character. It works more as we go forward because her mental state is deteriorating like so quickly as events go forward. But I don't know. I had a professor I hate to say back in my undergrad, I feel so old. And Haley will know who I'm talking about. Oh yes, Haley, that is the Tumblr brain rot. It is exactly a Tumblr brain rot to think that every single part of the art that you're making needs to be like impactful. It needs to be like quotable. It needs to be something like people take and put on their blogs. Because that's of course how Tumblr, and like if we expand it a little bit more, like most social media works, is that you're successful when people want to share what you're doing. That makes sense. But movies, like, of course, they're such a huge, large entity that for something to be truly impactful, it needs to be built. Like, it needs to have like this strong foundation of things that may not be like super shareable, but they make the shareable moments kind of work. Or I guess like some of the best movies are not shareable at all unless you've seen the whole thing. But yeah, it's definitely an internet brain rot moment, I fear, for The Substance. And I think that's kind of what...
I shall uphold the principles of knighthood, to champion beauty and courage.
I leave him alone for a few seconds and he immediately starts yapping. Okay. But yeah, I think that's what keeps me... I'm not old, Haley. If I'm old, you're old. Like, that's just how it is. I fear that what I was just talking about earlier about The Substance is why I did not like it as much as I wanted to like it. Even though, like, it's still, like, pretty... like, a pretty searing representation of, like, self-hatred and, like, self-body shame. Again, I also saw reviews talking about how this movie seems to be more, like, in terms of, like, they were criticizing the film, and they're talking about how the movie is more interested in criticizing its female protagonists for being victims of a larger industry. And yeah, there is some critique there in terms of how Elizabeth is so dependent on the industry and these like really disgusting men to give her a sense of self-worth and love. But since we're placing ourselves in Elizabeth, I feel like it's more of a self-reflection. It's not a demon. I don't think it's demonizing Elizabeth and women like her. So that's not what makes me upset about the film at all. I think it really actually works that she is so dependent on like these awful institutions. It just goes to show like how vulnerable you get after living in like this kind of system for so long. Oh my god, the professor story. I forgot. Yes, Haley. This is Professor Young at Dartmouth College. He always said that you only really understand a movie after you watch it more than once. So, of course, I can't even say that I was gonna say that I feel like I need to rewatch the film with the knowledge of how the later scenes impacted me and like look at the beginning again. Because as I went through the film, I was like, God, if I could only look at the beginning again, like, I don't think I would feel as, like, turned off as I was. And not in the way I think they expected me to be turned off. Like, of course, like, her producer is absolutely disgusting. Like, that's like, the obvious turn off for the scene where he's firing her at the restaurant. He's like absolutely gobbling these shrimp down his like gullet. But like the whole like, oh, and she stares at the fly that's like dying in the wine. Like that was such like a silly over the top moment for me that it took me out. Like, okay, I love silly over the top, okay? I hate the fact that I'm saying that the silly over the top moment took me out because like that's so ironic and hypocritical of me to say. Like, I have given 5 stars to The Adventures of Sharkboy and Lava Girl, directed by Robert Rodriguez, and I just like, I love silly over the top, but this particular kind of silly over the top like gives me like cringe in the deepness of my heart, because like I have been there for that kind of silly over the top in my own like work as like a 13-year-old. Like, that's what that scene was giving me in that moment. It was like I was 13 again. I was writing something that I thought was super cool and edgy, and it was actually not. Ooh. Uh yeah, that's where the substance like is like living, and it's living on that edge, that knife's edge of being like such a good movie that has like these amazing scenes that really capture like how it feels to be in like this horribly toxic relationship with yourself. And then there's like the cringest moments on earth to me personally. And I'm being over dramatic when I say the cringest moments on earth. Okay, Speed, I tell you exactly. I'm being hypocritical. Like, how can I defend Speed Racer? And like how can I do that when I'm also criticizing this film? Like, I feel so bad. Like, this is camp. Like, but also like it's Oscar nominated camp. I can't help it, you know? I know I should see this as like a victory, that this film is like nominated for Best Picture. This film was nominated for Best Picture, and I'm like, I see your camp, I feel your camp, but since you're not hated enough by the general public, like, I can't accept you into my camp. Like, that's such hipster behavior of me. That's cringe in its own way. So in reality, I should be ashamed of myself for not liking this film.
A day of peaceful repose.
Cool it.
Okay. Actually, let me check really quickly what curios I have. Okay, I have this one, so I can use a few more skill points. And boom. So yeah, I'm not gonna say that I'm not a hipster. I think that it's all too clear that I am, and that it's clearly hurting my views of this movie. Because I am going to be honest here as I say this. Based on the amount of praise that I've heard about this film, I did expect it to be more polished than this. And when I say polished, it's like there are literal scenes where the film like stops itself completely. Like, we're on a good pace. Everything is like rushing forward to its like inevitable tragic end. And then it like pauses itself and like almost looks directly at you. And it's like, do you remember that scene like 30 minutes ago? Here, let me give you like a little cut back to that previous scene so that you know what's going on. I'm not like, some people are saying that like, oh, it's treating us like we're stupid. I'm not gonna say like it's not treating us like we're stupid, but I don't think that's where like, I don't feel like this film thinks like it's talking down to me. It's obviously like it has like such an enjoyment of itself and of like its base nature as a body horror film, and like with comedic elements, as a satire. As much as I hate how that word is like thrown around, I wouldn't call this a satire, honestly. I would call this more like a fairy tale or a fable, in that like I feel like a satire is more of a very sharp look at a very narrow part of the world, and then it's like very explicitly a comedy. But here this is not like a comedy. This is not a comedy. Like, if you come into Substance expecting to like giggle your way through like maybe 50% of the film, you're only gonna have it for maybe like 20 to 30% at most. This is definitely not a satire, as I feel like people have called it. I feel like people use the word satire to just, what am I even saying, you know? What am I even saying? Anyway, it's not, I would not call this a satire. It's a fable. And what the hell was I talking about before I got into this weird mini rant? Is it supposed to be funny? Is it supposed to be funny, Haley? Because I don't think it is. I don't think it's supposed to be funny. I feel like there are so many parts of it that are just so depressing. Like, I guess you could call like, it's definitely, if it's supposed to be funny, it's definitely supposed to be like a dark comedy. I give it that, if it's supposed to be funny. But like, if you're supposed to feel funny at like the men being super rude and gross and disgusting, like, I guess if you find that funny, I don't think that part is funny. I feel like such an asshole for saying that. I feel like such like a hoity-toity like person who's like, that's just not funny to me. Like, why on earth would you ever think that the discrimination of women is funny? But like, I'm not saying that it's not funny. But also, I feel like no, Haley, I feel like okay. They say that comedy works the best when you're punching up. I agree with that. Okay? On some level, I see how making fun of the arrogance, cruelty, and disgusting parts of misogyny is punching up, except that that's not really the joke in those scenes, considering that none of those men are the joke. Like, we can kind of like laugh a little bit at like how disgusting you're being, but like, it's not a joke that they're doing that. It has like real consequences for Elizabeth and Sue. So when those scenes like happen, I never feel like it's funny. I feel like very like grossed out, honestly, in the bottom of my heart. And I felt like those scenes just add to the body horror, to the imagery, kind of. So to me, it never came off as a comedy. And the rest of it, like, sure, like, when Elizabeth is having like a mild is a very, very light way to put it, but like a mild breakdown over Sue's interview while she's cooking like these ungodly amount of French dishes, I guess that is humorous, but it's not funny. I feel like, especially, I don't know if this is a diss to their performances, if this is actually supposed to be funny, but the way that both Demi Moore and Margaret Qualley do their performances, like, as like ridiculous as the situation is, and as they do such a good job in making you feel the pain of this scenario for both of them. Because of course Demi Moore's pain in literally having like her whole body deteriorate at an extremely fast scale is absolutely horrifying. So, and the anger and rage she feels towards Sue, like, about that, and Sue, who is herself, is also like that's amazing. Now that performance is amazing, but Sue is also like, I feel like Sue's like rage and anger also is very palpable and felt in, like, I don't know, seeing Sue and Elizabeth as one, as they repeat multiple times through the film, like, her seeing Elizabeth like really deteriorate, even though we kind of get the feeling that like I think a lot of the impulse is for us to feel like, oh, Sue doesn't care about Elizabeth. If Sue really cared about Elizabeth, she wouldn't be doing this to Elizabeth. She wouldn't be like taking all this like vitality from Elizabeth just to extend for a few more days of her own life. But I feel like for Sue, like when she like locks back in, I guess, from their like disjointed consciousness and sees like everything that's happened, it's like glimpsing again. It's like Sue is kind of like an escape from herself. I guess Sue is the better version of her. So when she actually sees what she has done, like that's still her. Like what she thinks is like disgusting and impure, of like being so depressed, being stuck on the TV, like making a mess and not being able to clean anything up. Like that pain is also really felt, I feel. And then like her refusal to switch is like her running away from really confronting the fact that her relationship with herself is just that terrible. And then when it escalates to, and I feel like, you know, like I feel like it's definitely, we are talking about it in the title of this. Yeah. I'm sorry, Haley. I have not been looking at your comments super much. I've been literally staring at this like static screen of my blessings while I've been ranting about this. But yeah, like when it escalates, I was gonna say like I feel sorry that I'm telling spoilers in this, but I'll label it as a spoiler when I post the VOD up. And I think having the title of the film on this stream should be a spoiler warning enough that when Sue like kills Elizabeth, like I think that's like a really good, that was like a great escalation of like that rage. I feel like it was pulled off really well, to my horror. Definitely the most horrifying moment of the entire film for me. I completely lost where we were at the beginning. Completely lost where I was what was I doing? Both in game and like in this rant that I've been doing. But yeah, I agree. Like the scene in her kitchen, I agree. Like yeah, it's uncomfortable, but I'm just saying here, like if it's, maybe it's because my view of comedy is so skewed now. Like I'm such like a mass media consumer that my idea of what, if it's labeled as comedy and satire, I expect it to be more geared towards being funny. I don't know. I know I would be absolutely slapped across the face right now if this was a table discussion in film class. I'd be absolutely slapped in the face right now by someone with like a Trudeau tote bag and like 4 rings on their hands. Like no, like 6 rings on their hands, like definitely 1 for each of the main fingers, and then like just a few more is extra, so the slap would hurt extra hard. I'm going to choose the 3 reroll attempts. They will be useful for the next round of this. Okay, I guess like one thing that I definitely was thinking about was the okay, so let me try and like break down my thoughts here. I've heard a lot about how, like, what men think are attractive. Like, what, you know, like, when people, you know how there's, like, this solid difference between how what men view as conventionally attractive for a male person versus what women find conventionally attractive for a male person. Like, those two ideals are very different. It's like, I think it's like the thing of like, oh, like, men think that they should be like super buff and built, and like that's what people are kind of striving for in the gym, then is like this ideal, like the men's weekly, like Hugh Jackman type of build, while women are all over the place. Attraction is such like a weird beast of a thing, but in general, like, women do not need you to be super built to be attractive. I think that's something you learn very, very quickly as a human being, as long as you talk to women and you see media catered towards women. Like, you realize very quickly that the image that's advertised to you through health wellness magazines is not actually what is considered attractive. I took the gamble and I lost. Time to do it again. Okay, that's good. Yes, one more gamble. Oh boy. Okay. So that was like 1 win and 2 losses. That wasn't very good at all. Okay, what was I saying? Yes. So the huge gap between what the ideal male image is versus like the ideal male lover, I guess, truly is to like a majority of women, like what a conventional ideal would be. It's not like, it is not the same as the health and wellness ideal, basically. And so I had that in the back of my mind, and when we got to the pump it up part, like, it made me think a lot. It made me think a lot about, like, on some level, like, the same is said, I guess, for women. Actually, where am I right now? Okay. We are still only in the first part of this map. There are 3 parts to this map. Okay. These are both useless.
That's a tough nut to crack.
Okay. I'm gonna let it autoplay while I talk a little bit. Okay, the same can be said of women. About this difference between our ideals. Because even though, to be very honest, it's really hard actually to say that the romantic ideal for women is different from the health and wellness ideal. Because, like, when I look at male gaze media, which, you know, is like very hot, this ideal Nosferatu. You're right, actually. There's so many people out there who would legitimately be into Nosferatu if he existed. Is kind of insane. But, you know, it should be should definitely be I don't even know what I was going to say with that. I guess I would say should be inspiring for people, and I was like, no, I don't actually think I want anyone to be inspired by Nosferatu at all.
Guide you on your path.
Protect all beauty.
But okay, it's really hard actually to differentiate the romantic ideal of women and like the physical ideal of women. I feel like those two things, especially in media, are almost the same, which I don't even know how to parse the issues of that. But like coming in with that to pump it up, like I don't know, it makes me have all like these mixed emotions and thoughts about like
Wretched and fleeting. I will protect all beauty. For Trilla.
like already like we talk.
It's of no consequence.
It's like very there. Of course, this is me talking about things that are very very obvious,
It's eternal.
but it's me just trying to parse out my thoughts. The link between meeting the physical ideal and meeting the romantic ideal is like so close. So like yeah, no wonder like we are so affected by beauty standards when it is so like it's so much more close to what the romantic ideal is than what men's body ideals and romantic ideals are to each other. Like those are more distinct, and I feel like they have a little bit more leeway than women do. Again, very obvious thing that I'm saying here. But I was also trying to think about like,
Watch over you and guide you on your path.
you know how like men kind of like judge the attractability of other men. Oh my god, Argenti! I have to redo this battle. I have to redo this battle. I have to actually pay attention to this one. Sorry guys. I have to actually pay attention to what's going on. Okay.
A thousand wonders to raise your spirits.
I miss Tingyan's old voice actress.
Fight as one.
Till I see that light once more. I will protect all beauty. For Trilla.
We're in trouble now.
My gratitude is yours.
Heard the call. Serenity is before me.
Fiend or devil. I'll crush them all.
Okay.
Mortals. Watch over you.
So the general strategy here is just to fill up Argenti's energy as fast as possible. Everyone on this team has a way to give him some extra energy. I just have to keep him alive.
I'll overcome the thorns. Won't let doubt farewell.
Wretched and fleeting.
Ugh. Yeah. These mobs can heal the team, so this is so annoying.
Fight as one.
Till I will protect all beauty. For Trilla.
Okay. There you go.
I will protect all beauty.
I could use Argenti's for, cause so okay, Argenti has two levels of ultimate. His first level is really good for killing lower level enemies. But since this is an elite enemy, I need him to be leveled all the way up to his level 2 ultimate, which is going to take longer.
Better late than never.
Honestly, he should be fine. Oh no. Oh no. No, no, no. Okay, I'm starting to see the issue here. I'm starting to see the issue here. Okay, we're just gonna have to spam his ultimate whenever it becomes available. Level 1 or level 2. Because here. After this moment. Yeah, Huohuo's light cone. She allows when any ally uses their ultimate, the wearer restores HP for the ally currently with the lowest HP percentage. So every time anyone uses their ultimate in this team, someone's going to be able to heal. So I'm just going to have to make sure everyone is using their ultimate as much as possible.
Until I see that I will protect all beauty.
We're in trouble now.
My gratitude is yours.
Heard the call. Serenity is before me.
Fiend or devil. I'll crush them all. Until I will protect all beauty.
This mortal watch over you and guide you on your path.
So Hoyo announced recently that they're going to buff old characters, which is very exciting.
Until I see, I will protect all beauty.
Who I'm really hoping they buff is, of course, Dr. Ratio. But I understand he's actually kind of newer than at least a lot of the first characters that were released. So, I don't know. At the very least, I know that they are going to buff Yang Qing, who has been sitting in my character list for so long without any use because he's useless. And he keeps haunting me. He keeps haunting me on my lost 50/50s. Even though not very much recently, he's allowed the other characters to have their turn.
My gratitude is yours. Fiend or devil. I'll crush them all.
I'll overcome the thorns. Serenity is before me.
My oath is to a solitary. Beauty is eternal. No. I will protect all beauty.
We're making good progress. We're just gonna whittle down this guy's health. As long as he doesn't kill us, we can make it. I did not realize my Argenti could just basically be killed in one shot, which is not good. Okay. Oh my god. Okay, so there is no way to do this. Okay. I don't think I can change the lineup either, because I don't think I have any other characters to change in. Okay. You know what? We're abandoning this run. I know when I'm beat. I know when I'm beat. Oh boy. And that was now. I guess it helps that I basically finished my... I finished my general to very confused thoughts on the substance. Still thinking about the pump it up scene. I'm probably going to have... I'm going to put it down. I'm going to do some writing later. I'm going to finish my review of it. And I'll put it on my Letterboxd, of course. But usually when I write, it really helps me formulate my thoughts better. This has been a big test to see if also talking about it on stream would help me with the writing process later, and we will see. We'll see how well the words will flow now that I have gotten some of it out loud verbally down. Right now, I do not want to look at Golden Gears right now. It's made me a little bit mad.
If not, then I'll be leaving.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Actually, what's this? Ooh, some mail. Okay. Yes, Divergent Universe rewards are going to reset very soon. And I have also cleared all of that. Here, I can show you guys. Let's see, where are the rewards? Well, yeah, my synchronicity level is max, so I got all the rewards here. And these ones I also have. So we're all good for that. Don't need to worry about it. What we do need to worry about are these. Only have 12 days for these limited time rewards. And they're stellar jades too, so I really should do them. Plus, I could get another Tingyan Eidolon. Yeah, like... she's the one I would want for this. And also more jades here. So yeah. Okay. I think I'm going to go... yeah, oof is right, Haley. You know, this is my own fault. It's my own fault for not building the team as well as I should have for that particular scenario. But yeah, I'm gonna have a very quick break. And then when I am back, I'm actually gonna go through some more story quests. More story quests, you know? And by more story quests, I mean just running around the map and not triggering any of the actual story, but trying to look at everything before I move on, even though I know that it's likely most of them, like, there are almost no story locked mini games or / quests in this entire game. Most of it, you can go through all of the story and then you can come back and play all of the side quests as you want. But I have actually heard some rumors that there are, like, collectibles on the map that you can miss if you progress through the story too quickly. And that's made me extremely paranoid. And so I really just want to get through everything on the map first before we move on. I will get back to that. But for now, I'm going to take a very, very quick break. Thank you. And I'll be right back. I'm back. Ooh. Okay. Let me know if the desktop audio is well, let me know if the game audio, I'm sorry. I'm being like, let me know if the game audio is coming through for you guys. Actually, I'm going to, yeah, mute while Windows Inactive is off. Okay. And hello, Boffaloop. I'm sure you're Val. Hi, Val. You think you were shadow banned? And Haley, absolutely no problem if you gotta lurk or log off. Thank you for joining for the beginning of this stream. It was very fun to talk a little bit about the substance. I can see you. I can see you, Val. I hope the delay isn't too bad. The delay should be a lot better than it was for my previous streams, but we are still in the progress of testing everything out and making sure everything works. You're always shadow banned. That's your power. I'm sorry. Let me see here. Okay. So I had planned after the break to go and run around a little bit. In Amphorius. And not trigger any of the story scenes so far until I fully explored everything that's already available to me. Oh, turn off VPN. I hate the fact that so many stupid websites.
If not, then I'll be leaving.
I hate that so many stupid websites do not allow you to use VPN. At this point, like, yeah, I don't know. I also just like keep my VPN off now these days. And I only turn it on if I need to, for certain activities. It is kind of delayed? Okay. That's to be expected. I hope that it's nothing above like 5 minutes. Crossing my fingers for that. I also might be contributing to the delay as well. Because I just don't look at my second screen as much as I should have. Here we go. Ratio. Okay. I have to say, and the fact that I love this man so much. I love him so much.
Never save for tomorrow what you can eat today.
So true. Never save for tomorrow what you can eat today. Everyone, take some snacks and enjoy yourself right now. I have already explored this part of the map pretty well. I just wanted to see if the NPCs I spoke to earlier were back here. And no, they are not. We might have got the end of their story. They had come back, like, after their main side quest for, I guess, like, maybe an epilogue moment. And I thought that they would appear again, but they did not.
Drink 10 vats of water every day, and Fagusa bless you.
Okay, let's see here. What else can I do before I move on with the main story? Oh yeah. Oh boy. No, I am not interacting with that.
It's about time you do some exercise.
I have talked to these NPCs also. I am afraid that most of those interactions are lost to time because my footage did not capture everything. But I'm not going to reread all of their dialogue again. That was too much. Oh my god, I really want to start that girl's mini quest, but I bet I'm not going to be able to until I continue the story.
I heard that he's a believer in Sacrifice.
Yeah. I think there was a chest here at one point, but I already took it. Yes, I think my favorite part of the last time I did any story progression was meeting Diogena. I believe she is a reference to Diogenes, who I think is that philosopher who liked to roll around in trash cans. She was hiding out in here when she says she lives in this basket, which looks like a trash can. So good for her. She had some very interesting things to say, so maybe I'll reread her dialogue.
Nastiest threats? Nothing but a tangled mess.
Ooh, that's a good idea, Val. Okay. Let me see. What time is it right now? For me, it is 4:19 as I am saying this. Okay. Oh, and please let me know if there are many lags. I'm a little worried actually that today there are quite a few lags. Just from my second monitor, which gives me a brief, like, I guess preview, or like just shows me what's streaming. And it seems like to me that's lagged quite a bit, but I'm not sure. I'll have to check when I finish up, I'll have to check the VOD. Oof. Ooh. Okay. So basically, a little recap. Our protagonists, me, and our handsome companion Dan Hong, who we will see once I actually progress our story, have crash landed on this new planet called Amphorius. Something literally shot down our train car that acts as a spaceship, and now we're stuck here. And this place is basically magical ancient Greece. There's some sort of prophecy that these characters are all dealing with. These people have their own gods, even though in this universe there's also the eons. Apparently these people don't know about the eons, but they do have their own gods. And I think the main quest for the heroes of this world is that they have to defeat their gods and take their place. It seems like it's a cycle here where every pantheon has to, like, every now and then the current pantheon is usurped by the next batch of heroes. But that's my understanding of things so far. I could have it wrong. So far we have Thanon, who's an Anderson Cooper looking fellow, who seems like a classic hero type, but a little suspicious. We have Mighty, who's like an emo boy, very Spartan in his visual design, and probably less, well, he's definitely less suspicious than Phynon. We've met Agalea, who's this, like, beautiful blonde leader of the city, who apparently is the I don't understand, like, their term for it, but basically I think each of the heroes of this world are following or are connected to a specific god, and she is connected to the romance god, and they call their gods Titans in comparison to the rest of the Honkai Star Rail universe, in which we have the Eons. So we met her, Agalea. Agalea really did not like us. She thinks we're really stupid, and she started doing a lore dump on us, and when we started saying that it was too long and convoluted, she gave us the baby talk version, which made me dislike her even more. And so far we have like a very semi-truce that we're here to help, and she's just going to respect that and take our help. Although I have a feeling she probably will betray us, like every other leader in Honkai Star Rail. Every single planet we've been to, the leaders are like, yeah, like, we're so happy you're here to help, and then they immediately backstab us as soon as we get comfortable. So, almost certain Agalea is one of them. She does not like us anyway, so it wouldn't be that much of a surprise. And so now, she kind of just left us to go explore. So I'm going to go explore and not trigger the next story, conflict until I finish my exploration. Yeah, no, it's not frozen. I'm just in I started a conversation with Diogena, and then I refused to continue because I've got to give you a little bit of a recap. 2 hours and 1 minute. That's a pretty good delay, you know what? I think because why are we trying to kill gods? To be honest, I'm not even sure why we're trying to kill gods in magical ancient Greece. I think because there's this thing called the Black Tide, which apparently is because of a god like just wreaking havoc. But to be honest, I think a lot of this talk of defeating the gods is trying to call back to the greater plot of Honkai Star Rail, in which the big plot, our main scale plot, is that we want to kill the Eon of Destruction, Nanook. So our base plot in Honkai Star Rail is to defeat a god. So I'm imagining that this specific planet is going to be like a mini cosm of the larger story. I think they're trying to figure things out here. Maybe we'll get some interesting emotional insights on what further on in the story might bring. But yeah, honestly, I don't really know what's going on very well. I think we're probably going to get a better understanding the more we go. But for now, I'm just talking to as many NPCs as I can and getting a good understanding of the world. Okay, I'm going to talk to Diogena really quickly. Because I do think that she actually talks a lot about the lore. And I need to refresh myself. Okay. The Golden Monasta might fancy the rich over the poor, but the Dark Thanatos knocks on every door equally. Okay, so the Romance Titan and the Death Titan. Just between you and me, I've set up a secret doorbell for them, visible to only the Titans. Okay. I'm sorry to disappoint. My background is pretty ordinary, except for the fact my family was targeted in an assassination due to my grandpa's position in the Council of Elders, leaving me as the sole survivor. I am almost sure that her entire existence is a reference to that famous philosopher, but I know almost nothing about his background. But I have a feeling this is probably like a reference to his background, because I don't think this is going to come up later in the story at all. Don't get me wrong, I'm not hurting for money. In fact, our family's mansion in the Dawn Cloud hasn't changed. Over the years, our servants have also learned to not care about where their masters might be. Anyway, thanks to this city's acceptance of legal inheritance, I can lead a carefree life until the Era Nova, as long as Oklahoma remains steadfast against the black tide. I sleep, eat, and soak up the sun whenever I please. What a bliss. But of course, if you're up for some casual chat, how about we pick a more specific topic? Interested in tales about Thanatos, Minesta, or the Council of Elders? Okay. Now this stuff, I was thinking, like, this is probably going to be important later. So it's probably good to review. So let's hear about Thanatos. Well, I may not know what Thanatos is truly like, but I can share how I see Thanatos. For devout disciples of the Titans, Thanatos the Deaf Titan is definitely a horrifying deity. They believe that they are the mastermind behind the Black Tide, which is something that's like swallowing up cities and killing a bunch of people. So like a black mist, a fog of that sort. Destined to bring catastrophe upon Amorpheus. But in my eyes, Thanatos is actually a good person. That Titan quietly endures all the hatred of the world and even offers sanctuary for those ostracized by society. So she's saying this, basically, that the followers of Thanatos in Oklahoma, which is what I call the city, because the first time I saw it, I thought that it looks... I read it as Oklahoma, and now I refuse to say anything else. Apparently, in this city, like, it's a very devout city, and all the people here have to follow a Titan. And if you kind of want to get around that, if you're more of an atheist, the best way to do it is to say that you're a follower of Thanatos, because then you don't have to really do any of the rituals or things like that. You don't have any specific rule sets you need to follow. We heard this from another NPC, and I do think it's kind of interesting. Listen, if someone in Oklahoma declares themselves a follower of Thanatos, it's likely because they just prefer not to worship the Titans or partake in any rituals that beg for blessings. There we go. After all, the pitch black Thanatos never needs adoration and won't bestow blessings on anyone whose life is not meant to be over. Yeah, there we go. Honestly, yeah. So basically, even though everyone blames the Black Tide on Thanatos, it's probably not him / them. Minesta. I'd love to say that Sister Agalea looks just like Minesta, the Titan of Love and Beauty, but that's not the case. Sister Agalea isn't just a side note for that Titan. The same goes for the other Chrysos heirs. And the Chrysos heirs is the name for the group of heroes that protects this world. I believe each of them treads their unique path with their own inspirations. As for Minesta, from what I know, that goddess is more like a clumsy old lady. She juggled from Era Valencia to Era Aracia, watching helplessly as the knot in her hands became harder to unravel. Destiny hasn't got much time left for Amorpheus. That's what many whisper in the shadows. That, to me, was harder to interpret. I guess Minesta seems to also, like, with that, is like, does Minesta also control the strings of fate? Okay, tell me more about the Council of Elders. It's rather straightforward. The Council of Elders is a place teeming with the living dead. Some may argue the Council of Elders serves its intended functions, but as a victim, that's not the tale I would tell. When I had to return there for some business, even amidst the bustling streets in broad daylight or when I had a lamp in my hand, I didn't see a living soul. To be a bit more strict, there might be only a handful truly alive in Amorpheus. However, the Chrysos heirs are here, so I'll hold my tongue on that. This piece of dialogue is really weird. Like, I think it adds to my theory that this is, like, she's somehow aware that this is, like, my idea of this is that in Penacony, the previous world, we basically were in a land of dreams. And in that world, there were these things called memory bubbles, which were encapsulations of someone's memory that they could take and make physical within the dream world, and that you could just like see as you please. So I feel like a Morpheus is basically just a giant dream bubble of a civilization that's probably already gone. And so maybe this is like a civilization that's just doomed to repeat like an apocalyptic scenario and then restart again at the beginning of the time loop. That might be a bit too obvious of a plot, honestly, based on how they opened it, but I don't know. Like, this piece of dialogue here, I'm not even sure what she means by that. Like, what do you mean there might be only a handful truly alive? She can't say anything more. Or maybe let's put it this way. A Morpheus might be actually under the control of enigmatic forces beyond our grasp. But those who hold such knowledge certainly aren't seated in the Council of Elders. They just believe they know what's going on. They're even less enduring than Thanatos or that self-proclaimed Evacultist. We do not know who this person is. The Evacultist? I don't know who that is. Okay. Yeah, that's actually a pretty good analogy, Val. Like, this is how... this is like when people say that they're Satanists. It's just to get out of what the other options would be, I guess. But still have, like, a group. Okay. There's just no way. Oh, there we go. Finally. What a great day, Miss. How many breaking news alerts do you plan on listening to? Yeah, let's sell some. I got plenty of news myself, too. Name your price. Hey, don't get me wrong now. I only sell news. I'm not into recycling it. We're having a sale to mark the grand opening. One line of news for just 5 balance coins. Want to hear one? The girl looks at you with puppy dog eyes that seem to say, I'll starve if I don't sell any news stories today. Okay, yes. All right, let's go. Don't tell me there's no option to refuse. That's right. Could anyone ever hope to refuse that girl with those puppy dog eyes? Besides, you're so rich now that you can afford the price of 10 news items. I guess so. We do have a lot of credits, even though they... Maybe they explain this in something that I accidentally skipped because I explored too much, and then the game thought I was more ahead in the story than I actually was. But we have a lot of credits from the rest of the universe, but considering that this is a planet that has quote-unquote never been discovered before, I don't know how my money from the rest of the universe gets translated into their money. But I'll go along with it. Teehee, thank you so much. Well then, I'll begin. The girl tells a series of outrageous stories, such as Nikador falling in love with Tantalon. Oh my god. The story lasts at least 10 minutes. Perhaps the light of Oklahoma has been impacting your sleep. Okay. So she was telling some good old clickbait stories. You wake up feeling as though your body is lighter. Can spending time with children really help you take a load off? It takes a while before you fully understand why. She stole from us. Val, you may be right. Maybe everyone is a zombie. Maybe there's some kind of strange, like, immortality scheme happening here. Wouldn't be the first time this game has done a plot related to immortality schemes. Your money pouch. You exchange some physical balance coins to try and fit with the locals. Has vanished. I have to find and interrogate that kid. Maybe someone around here saw where she ran off to. We already got our money stolen.
I heard that he's a believer of Zagreus.
Okay, let me see who I can talk to. This might be cheating, but... Hey there, youngster. Want to see today's fresh fruit? Did you see a child running this way? Oh, that kid. I sure did. Fortunately, my eyesight is no longer the best, so I couldn't really make out which direction she was going in. I heard she came to Oklahoma with a bunch of outlanders, and her parents got separated from her along the way. I'm speaking a euphemism, you understand. If you want to find her, you might as well set your sights higher. That's all I can say.
I heard that fruits are on sale.
Okay, I know exactly what she means. That means I should go on the roofs. Okay, let me ask this guy though. What would you like to eat? Local specialties? Or perhaps something more outlandish that has been lost to time? Did you see a child running this way? A child? Oh, you must mean Serena. That girl is always stealing leftovers off the table. She makes quite an impression. I was going to treat her to something delicious, but she told me she'd get indigestion if she ate while lying down. But that's getting off track now. Yes, I saw her running towards the city gate and being sneaky about it. Not sure what she was up to. Okay. Almost certain this guy's not going to be any help, as literally the thief's hand owner. We were talking a little bit earlier, and he runs a whole organization where you can hire people to steal things for you. But you know what? I respect the grind. Good day, friend. Looking for some good stuff that floats in a whimsy? You've come to the right place. You see a child running this way? A child? Maybe, maybe not. My memory ain't what it used to be, but maybe a few balance coins will get it working again. These are my weapons. I'm gonna pull out the hat. Hey, chill out. I was just kidding around. No need to use Falgos's crown against me. Ahem, I saw that kid, and I also know exactly what she's looking for all this time. She's hiding up high on a platform to the right. Go take a look. That's where she stashes all her precious stuff. Okay. There needs to be a paywall for everything good in life, apparently. Oh. I thought I would have to do the minigame again, but I guess not. Oh, okay. Oh. This is new. So we're seeing her past? Mister, do you know where my mom and dad are? I haven't seen them since that day. I've heard you've been standing sentry at the city gates and pretty much know everyone. You must know where they went then, right? They have probably headed off somewhere very far away. How far? Don't tell me they went back to our hometown without telling me. I want to find them. I don't think you'll be able to. It's really dangerous out there in Oklahoma. I'm not afraid of danger. I just want my mom and dad. I've been out for a walk outside the city before with the grown-ups before, so if I go out there again, I'll be fine. The Icatusians are as stubborn as a pack of dromeses. You might not be afraid of anything, but you still need to get yourself ready before you head out again. You don't want to give up halfway, do you? Get ready? What do you mean by that? Like lots and lots of money. You'll need money to buy equipment and supplies, and you should probably hire a few dromeses plus a group of attendants. Oh. Then what? You worry about all that stuff first. You know it's not easy earning money, right? I understand. I'll do my best to save money until I've got enough to go find them. He watches the memory fragments intently. The sound of footsteps ring out. Ooh. I'm just gonna start off with some, an icebreaker. Granddad Zagreus, I pray to you one last time. Please make my legs lightning fast. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay. I can't move. Oh boy. Those are my only dialogue options. Yeah, Val, I am delayed in seeing your chats because I have you on my second screen, and I just keep not looking at it. I'm sorry. Wait, I'm gonna try and set up this because it's on a tablet, so I can just prop it up somewhere better. Let me just okay. Okay. Okay, let me continue this. I only finished warming up. I think that's the nicest thing I can say here. She throws the thing she's holding in her arms at you. Your lost money pouch. Not a single penny is missing. I found this on the ground and I wanted to return it to you. Fine, I admit I didn't want to give it back to you at first. But that doesn't matter now. No matter how much money I can save, there's no point. Lippos told me Icatus has all gone. My mom and dad. A bard never lies. I'll never be able to go back to my hometown, and I'll never see mom and dad again. The girl begins to sob quietly. Icatus. Just from the name, I'm guessing, just from the name of the city, you guess it's a place of ill omens. That place has been wiped from the face of the earth and buried alongside its children's hopes. The girl tilts her head to one side, looks down at the market. It's hard to tell whether she wants to join in. So now, what can I do? What should I do? Maybe, I don't know, find a new family? Go turn yourself in sounds really, really harsh. There's no, like, orphanage system in Oklahoma. Especially with this many refugees, like, that are coming in, because apparently the whole rest of Amorpheus is, like, being consumed by this black tide, and Oklahoma is, like, the last, like, stronghold of humanity, basically. So with this many refugees coming in, like, how are there not any, well, I know in real life there also wouldn't be particularly good infrastructure for refugees either, but okay. I really don't want to say go turn yourself in, but it's like, please get some help, basically, from an adult. I have a feeling whatever I say will probably not help at all, so maybe I'll just pick a benign answer at the very least. Go learn a craft. Go and learn a craft such as weaving. Even if you're no good at it, you'll still be able to support yourself so long as you work hard at it. I understand. I'll give it a try. The girl walks down slowly, her steps stilted, never quite toppling over. Tomorrow is a new day. So that's it? That's the end of her story? I'm sure we'll see her again later. But yeah, I wish we had better options to tell her. Okay. We have heard other NPC stories about how they ended up in Oklahoma. Some of them have been extremely sad, as the guard outside of the city story, where he lost his entire family, and talks about it quite intensely. And then there's the philosopher in the debate minigame, who kind of just mentions it, about how he was also from Icatus. So Icatus has been mentioned previously. You don't believe this girl? And also, I am sorry if the chats are more delayed than the stream is. That's kind of interesting, actually. I'm not sure how that works. Maybe it's because I'm looking at it from a monitor that isn't connected to the Ethernet cable that my stream is running on. So that might be why the delays are different. You don't believe this? I do believe her. I'm sorry. Okay. Maybe let me find like a more fun mini quest, like these two. I think these two will be cringe. Nympha and Alias. They sound so... I bet they're like a Romeo and Juliet pair. The rooftop is a must-go for lovebirds, and you accidentally walk straight into a couple's secret tryst. You're particularly sharp of hearing, so by the time you realize you should have escaped, it's already far too late. Why are all the dialogues like, get a job, loser? I don't know. The main character isn't that nice of a person. They're kind when it comes down to it, but in terms of dialogue options, they can be quite rude. My dear, isn't this too bold of us? Your parents are right down in the market. Just a bit of noise and they'll look up and spot us. Ooh, I don't like the way he says this. Teehee, then let them watch as much as they want. The sight of their pride and joy, their darling daughter, falling in love with the Kremos kid they hate the most, that ought to drive them nuts. I love this side of you. Once you've made up your mind, no one can stop you. But there are grudges between the city-states. Your parents dislike me, but I don't blame them. Neither of them have ever fought in battle, but their minds both bear the scars of war and hatred towards you and your Kremnoan brethren. The last city, Oklahoma, it ought to be a sanctuary for all in the end times, including for people like you. That's right. Have you given any thought to what I mentioned last time about leaving Oklahoma? That is an absolutely horrible suggestion, considering that there is literally an apocalypse going on. Nympha, we've already been over this. It's too dangerous. Once I earn a few more achievements in the future, then we can. Silly Billy Elias, don't you get it? Their hate is only for your Castrium Chromos bloodline. Oof. Sorry for cutting out there if it was on my end. They won't compromise until they lose me at least once. Nympha, wait! Okay, and we've just been watching this whole time. Okay. Nympha. I'm not sure he's playing with her feelings. What he's saying is that he thinks that... Okay, so he thinks that as long as he gets a little bit more achievements, then her parents will like him. But she knows that her parents don't like him because they just hate Kremnoans. I'm gonna say, go after her. Oh, I wish it were that simple. You know, I come from a completely different class to Nympha. I'm descendant of a Kremnoist general, and she comes from one of the most powerful and long-lasting noble families in Oklahoma history. During the Crisis War, our families fought against each other on the battlefield, as each represented the banner of their own city. Plenty of members from both families were slain by the other city in the fighting. Even though the Crisis War has long finished, even though the Kremnoan detachment has made peace with Oklahoma, and even though my family was wiped out with the fall of the old king's rule, none of this animosity has disappeared. The first night I arrived in Oklahoma alongside Lord Mighty, an assassin made an attempt on my life. I was just a child back then. Lord Mighty lodged a complaint with the Council of Elders, and they reluctantly put a stop to things. Burdened by these familiar tragedies, we are clearly the most star-crossed of lovers, and yet we are tied together by the golden thread. This must be Menestia's marvelous miracle. Praise be to Menestia. Yeah. So then what are you arguing about? Like, okay, if you both know these circumstances, and you both know you can't change them, so, yeah. We've been sneaking off a lot lately, but Nympha's parents seem to be onto us and have started sending spies to secretly tail her, or assigning a personal escort to her. Nympha proposed a plan that I don't agree with. Publicize our relationship, then flee outside Oklahoma and use public opinion to persuade her parents, only returning once they've agreed to our marriage. What if her parents don't even care? Ooh. I'd love to be the idiot here and say great idea, but I'm going to be the logical one and agree that it's too dangerous because the apocalypse is happening. She said that only by forcing us into a desperate situation could her parents be painted as the bad guys. However, my greatest concern is our personal safety. Like, this guy gets it. No problem, Val. As Nympha's partner, my duty is to protect her rather than merely just love her. All those wandering monsters surround the city. I'm worried I won't be able to protect her by myself. Oh my god, am I going to be hired as a bodyguard? If anything should happen to her, I'd never be able to forgive myself. I'll bide my time until a better chance comes along. I believe that if we are indeed destined to be lovers, then things will definitely take a turn for the better. Minesta will surely watch over us. Suddenly, a wave of hurried footsteps come rushing towards you. Alias, I knew you'd be here. Something terrible has happened. Miss Aphria, what's going on? Just now in the market. Miss Nympha's parents sent goons to kidnap her and carry her off. Oh wow. That means her parents already know about your affair. Yeah, it's come to this. I never expected them to take such tough measures against their own daughter. Miss Aphria, do you have any idea where they may have taken Nympha? They didn't say anything when they left, so I wouldn't know where to begin. Nympha's parents have a very wide network of influence in Oklahoma. This is big trouble. Alias, I just heard some shopkeepers talking about Nympha's family guards. They've often been sighted near a Marmorial market. I'll go check in with my friends. Then, and maybe I'll be able to piece together a few clues. Thank you so much, Miss Aphria. Okay, we can go to the blacksmith shop and get a better idea about what's happening.
Does it really work?
These fruits aren't very good quality.
Never save for tomorrow when you can eat today.
Okay, let's talk to him. What do you need? Nympha, got any clues about her? Nympha, I'm so sorry. There was a lot going on, and she was really upset. There was something weird. Chains. Nympha's butler last week ordered some chains. Oh wow. Okay. I've got a bad feeling about this too. Chartunas, what did they tell you? Did they tell you where the stuff was going? They came by, picked it up. It's already gone. Really weird. In the past, they've always delivered things to their house. I see. If our family puts in any more orders with you, please let me know, my friend. Okay. Curios. What would you like to eat? Local specialties, or perhaps something more outlandish? Oh, okay, so just his opening phrase. It's so disturbing. Nympha did not want to go at all, but was carried off by 8 of her guards. I'm so sorry that we couldn't stop them. Let me see. Several days back, the kitchen staff for Nympha's family placed a massive food order with me, including several expensive delicacies. It's the kind of order you only see at wedding banquets. So is Nympha getting married? Oh no. They're trying to marry her off to someone else. Standing off to one side, Alias can barely stay on his feet. He nearly drops to his knees, but luckily, you're there to catch him. She didn't even invite you. No, I was trying to make a joke. That was a bad time to make a joke. Clearly she's not doing this of her own volition. Like, clearly her parents are forcing her into a marriage. Ilias, stop being dumb. So Nympha has been lying to me all along. I'm just some boy toy from the Outlands to her. Pull yourself together. There's more chance of the Dawn device never lighting up again than Nympha not loving you. The delivery's scheduled for tomorrow. No matter what kind of banquet it is, you two must find Nympha before it begins. Okay, Theodorus. Those depraved old aristocrats are stealing even their children's happiness. Remembering history makes us wise, but also repeats the cycle of tragedy. Are we sure remembering history makes us repeat the cycle? A few days back, I had a really suspicious trade. A guy who looked like a retainer wanting to pawn a priceless pendant made of Kremnos eagle blood. Eagle blood is very rare, and the rare extant treasures are mostly safeguarded by the Kremnoans, so there's no way it'd be in the hands of an ordinary Oklahoman guard. When I hit him up about it, he just said some aristocrat in the city gifted it to him. Here, let me show you. That's my mother's eagle blood pendant that I gave to Nympha. I was worried about us getting busted, so I never let Nympha wear it. She must have hidden it very well somewhere at home. Someone found it. Every clue so far today points to one outcome and one alone. Nympha's family put her under duress. I kept a close eye on this bizarre customer. My friend said this guy has been hanging around the Memorial Palace a lot recently. Go now. I hope this eagle blood can help lead you to the one you love. Wow, everyone is so nice. Okay. Let's go. Okay. Let's start here. We're gonna rescue her. Who's this? Okay, I'll talk to that person later.
Dad, I want to have a water fight.
Okay, let's go over some past memories and try and pull out some clues. Okay.
Another entry from
I have a feeling that this power would have been explained if I was a little farther ahead in the story. But because I refuse to go ahead in the story, I'm just going to assume we know why we have this power of rewinding. Where are you taking me? Are you really gonna do this to your own daughter? You rejected all those high-born young Oklahoman boys, but I never thought you were doing that for a Kryptoan. It had to be this one. I'd never have believed it was true if the guard hadn't shown me the necklace. My necklace? How did you find that? Give it back to me now. Such rude behavior and disrespectful language. Your current behavior is because of our failure as parents. You sure failed. Majorly. If your plan hadn't been exposed, I'd never fall in love with that poor man who was nearly killed. Why, if you don't cherish your own freedom, then allow me to make some arrangements. Think about what you've done before the wedding begins, would you? As for that little punk, he's going to suffer. Mother, listen to me. I swear by Tantalon, the scale of justice, and I will predict your future. Your bloodline will merge with that of Castrum Kremnos, and your progeny will carry the blood of strife. How dare you say that malicious slander? Take her to the cell and tie her up. You think that's possible? There are people all over Memorial Palace. Someone will help me pass messages. Naive child, I'm talking about that room in the market. The most dangerous place is also the safest. Yes, ma'am. How unreasonable her family is. So, Nympha has been putting up such a huge pressure at home, but never once let on to me about it. Yeah, she never wanted to put any of that pressure on you. I've got to do something about this. Come on, let's go back to the market. I'll tear this place apart to find her. You're that Kremnois punk. He's here. Die. Elias throws all his might into a massive punch, instantly knocking down the guard. Steal my necklace again, why don't you? Yeah, you could solo a Titankin, no problem. There's movement inside the room instantly. Footsteps dragging chains in a hurry towards the door, followed shortly by a familiar female voice. Alias, is that you outside? My Nympha, it is I, and I brought a friend to help out. I'm so sorry, I don't actually know your name. I'm Galactic Baseballer. Thank you so much, Miss Warrior, for protecting my alias. Nympha, listen to me. I've thought this through very carefully. Let's elope. Let me take you away from Oklahoma right here, right now. Let's just go. Alias, what makes you say that all of a sudden? Well, this is the first time I've ever felt that if things stay as they are, I might really end up losing you. I don't want to say any of this, but I guess he thought you were marrying someone else. Because she was, because her parents were forcing her. I kind of always took it for granted that you were mine, and that our love was the will of Manesta, that those truly in love would be afforded favor by the Titans. But it's only today that I finally realized that the one pulling on this golden thread has always been you. Your courage, your kindness, your perseverance. To protect our relationship, I also need to fight alongside you. Alias, do you still remember how we first met? How could I ever forget? That day you came to my blacksmith shop, and we hit it off like two old friends, talking up a storm until poor Chartronus was yawning. After that, we looked forward to seeing each other every day. There's something I've never been honest to you about. I actually knew all along that my parents sent someone to try and kill you. So I wanted to reach out to you and offer up an apology for their evil. But I never thought I'd fall head over heels in love with you as soon as we met. When you introduced me to so many Outlander friends, you opened up my eyes to the bigger world outside. Nympha. Hatred is like a snowball. Once it's been rolling for centuries, it doesn't matter who made the first mistake. Let the hatred of previous generations stop with us. So, then we have to go. Yes, leave. To put ourselves in danger and force those stuffy-eyed Fojis to bow their heads in defeat. We will return triumphant, and then dedicate the victory of our love to the Titan, to fair and just Tantalon, instead of Minesta. I think this is still a bad idea. Based on how Romeo and Juliet ended, this is looking like it's about to end the same way. I'll follow you until the ends of the earth, my darling Nympha. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna leave. Kind warrior, please stay a while. I have one final task to ask of you. Could you please go to the Dromos workshop beside the market and wait for us there? We'll depart there by Dromos. But before you go, there's something very important I'd like to leave with you. Sorry to bother you once again. I'll see you later. Yeah, no problem, Val. I might be finishing up a little soon. I'm gonna try and finish up this mini quest, and then I think I'll say my goodbyes. We'd like to leave this set of letters with you. We've just been frantically pulling this together. We must let Oklahoma hear our story to avoid pesky interference from aristocrats like my parents. These letters form our best shot at providing evidence, and they'll recount justice and love in our stead. We want to give them to you as someone who witnessed everything. When the time is right, please, can you publicize these letters? Or else, if anything should ever happen to us, at least let us serve as inspiration for playlights out there. Please don't joke about that. Phew, I can finally wear the eagle blood necklace that you gave me out in public. It feels so good to not have to hide things anymore. Just look how happy you are. It's getting late. We have to hit the road now before we're discovered. We better say goodbye now. We hope to see you sometime in the future. You guys stay safe out there. I will keep her safe. After all, now is just the beginning of our happiness together.
Don't touch his Dromus later.
Okay. I think we'll probably see them at the end of everything, like maybe when we're about to leave the Morpheus. But yeah, I do hope those NPCs make it out alright. That was a situation where there are no good solutions. In video games where you can write time, can I interest you in? Oh my god. Yes, I do need to play the game you recommended me. I still need to grab it on Switch. Although I could probably grab it on Steam for less. Let me just very quickly... How do I... I want to use my mod actions. Because... Yeah, let me ban this person. There we go. There we go. Okay. You know what? If we've already got spam coming in, I count that as success. Okay. I feel like to end, we should do something fun, like gamble a little bit. But I probably shouldn't. I want to save up for when Ratio has his rerun, and then I can grab his light cone. In fact, here. Let me show you. Wait, that's not what I wanted to put. Oh, actually, now that we have a little bit of materials, let me do some quick upgrading before we go. I'm slowly getting all of my characters up to max level. Even if they're characters I don't use, you never know. I'm finally upgrading some of the... Well, I'm upgrading this light cone for Serval so that I can use her with Herta. And just in general, I am building Herta to be the strongest that she can be. I'm gonna upgrade her traces and max out her relic levels. Oop. Wait. There we go. Okay. Now I can show you the light cone I really want. It's Ratio's light cone. And, well, I want it for a very particular reason, which is that I love him and I need his bath time photo. God, imagine if you had the money to S5 all of the, like, the limited 5-star light cones. I'd love that. Yeah, and it would, of course it would work well on him, as it was built for him. Let me read the little description here. The afternoon sunshine is just right, and the floral scents fill the air. Although he tries to keep his thoughts pure, cognitive stagnancy inevitably attracts particulates of mind like gathered dust. Healing one's thoughts is just as vital as the maintenance of one's health. The fool's clamoring fades alongside fatigue as he sinks into the water, letting all thoughts loose, his mind elucidated and ordered. Truth eludes all filths, accepting only those of pure thoughts. Almost certain that he has something to do with Aha, the Eon of Elation, which has not been revealed yet. Anyway, you know me. I just love these two. This is Ratio, by the way. And since Dear Aventurian already has his signature, of course Ratio should have his to match. I would give Ratio the light cone of them together, but it doesn't actually work very well on him. It could work, like, it works, but this one just works so much better. Okay. I am definitely running out of energy. So with that, I'm gonna say goodnight. Thank you so much for keeping me company, and hopefully I can get through a little bit more of the story next time. Alright. Okay. You know what? I'll use one of the things to say goodbye.
Satisfied with our transaction, I trust? Cast your eyes to the future and you'll realize we both stand to gain from a little mutual understanding.
Okay. Bye, guys. Thank you again.